good morning to all of you. We are going to be in detail with the units and measurements today in our lecture, which is of course the second chapter of your NCERT book. First topic with you is physical quantities. What are physical quantities? Because we are forming the base for doing all the chapters of physics here, and the quantities which we are using, which can be measured either directly or indirectly. Like for large distances, we are not going to the moon to measure the distance of the moon from the earth. Similarly, we are not going to sun. So we are using indirect method for measuring the distance between the sun and the earth, between the moon and the earth. We are using them, measuring the distances indirectly. So I am able to measure the quantities either directly, it means they are within my range, within my limit, within my reach I should say, or indirectly, and in terms of which the laws of physics can be expressed. This is the definition for your physical quantities. Which quantities are termed as physical quantities? Those quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly, in terms of which the laws of physics can be expressed. So fundamental quantities, they are independent or basic quantities, like we are having mass, length and time, because their mass is not dependent on anything. We have to measure the mass independently. So those quantities which are measured independently, those physical quantities which are measured independently, they are termed as fundamental quantities. And we will be studying in the next slide that there are 7 basic quantities which are termed as the fundamental quantities. Along with these 3, there are 4 more quantities, like current is there. So and 2 supplementary quantities are there, like angle is there. So there are so many basic quantities, it means 7 basic plus 2 supplementary. Total 9 fundamental quantities are there with me, which are independent quantities, which are not dependent on anything else, but derived quantities that depend upon the fundamental quantities, like you have studied in your 9th class about the velocity and momentum. You can talk about the force, you can talk about impulse. Like those are the quantities which are dependent upon the fundamental quantities. So all physical quantities I have divided into 2 branches. One are fundamental, another are derived. And of course we have earlier done in your lower classes, you people have done that physical quantities, they can be scalar or vector. That is another way of dividing the physical quantities. So this is one way which we have to learn today. That is, one is fundamental, another is derived. What is the need of the measurement? Why should I do the measurement? And how should I do the measurement? Whenever I want to measure any physical quantity, that is simply I am comparing that quantity with the standard amount of that physical quantity of same kind. It means if I want to measure the length, I have to compare it with some length standard value, and that standard value is termed as the unit. It means when I am measuring mass, like when you go to the market, you take some 1 kg sugar, that is measured in with comparison to some standard weight, and that weight is the standard unit for the mass. Whenever I want to measure any physical quantity, that is to be compared with the standard amount of the same kind of physical quantity, and that standard amount we are calling it as the unit. So this is the definition of the unit. Simple definition, which is a standard value, it means that is termed as the unit. Now what it is, when I talk about the units of fundamental quantities, they are termed as fundamental units, like base units we may call them. And units of the derived quantities, they are termed as the derived units. It means for the fundamental quantities, units which are termed, they are termed as base units or fundamental units, and the units of the derived quantities, they are termed as derived units. And if I go with the complete set of these units, both base units and derived units, then this is termed as system of units. System of units, it comprises of the complete set of both base units and derived units. Whenever I am measuring any physical quantity, like I am saying some length I want to measure, then I have to write 1 meter. It means I have to write a numerical value, a magnitude and a unit. So a physical quantity, whenever I am representing completely, it is represented by its magnitude and the unit. So unit is very, very important, as you have studied in your lower classes also. So physical quantity Q, it is written as N1 into U. Now if I am measuring say 1 meter length, meter, or in centimeter, that is equals to 100 centimeter. So if 1 meter length I have taken and I am changing the system of units, like from meter I am changing it to centimeter. So for a given physical quantity, then according to that unit, the numerical value will get changed. It means the magnitude will get changed depending upon the system of unit. Like 1 meter, here when I am writing 1 meter, then unit is meter and the magnitude is 1. It is equals to 100 centimeter. So N2 is become 100 and unit is centimeter. So this is, I am able to write the given physical quantity, then N1 U1 has to be equals to N2 U2. So magnitude is inversely to unit, or vice versa you can say, for a given amount of physical quantity. Now the thing is, what type of unit I should take, which unit I will be calling it as the standard unit. Like I'm saying, I can measure the length in meter, I can measure it in centimeter, I can measure it in millimeter, or in decimeter, or in kilometer. So which unit should be taken as a standard unit? So there should be some characteristics for a unit to become a standard unit. There are units, so many units are there, then which is to be taken as a standard unit. So these are the characteristics I have written for the standard unit. Of course, standard unit should be well defined. It should not get affected by the change in time, temperature and other physical conditions. It means if I am taking meter as the length unit, then it should not change its value. And that you see, you people are using your scales, 1 meter scales, and from there only you are getting the smaller scales for 15 centimeter or like that, but the value, whatever scale you pick, the value is not changing. So it means that can be made a standard unit which is not affected by the change in time, temperature and other physical conditions. And the third is that it should have a convenient size. Convenient size means it should not be very small, it should not be very large. Like you cannot take kilometer as the standard unit because it is very large. Similarly, you cannot take millimeter as a standard unit, being very small. So it should have a convenient size that we can use in our day-to-day life. Like 1 meter is taken as a standard unit, which is the basic unit for the length. We will be of course discussing 1 meter in detail also. What is 1 meter? Of course, it should be internationally acceptable. It means at any part of the world you go, it should be acceptable. It is not that it is acceptable in India but not in America, or in China it is not acceptable. So the unit should be internationally acceptable. Everybody should be able to get that, and that is not changing with the time and conditions. And of course, it should be easily accessible, because if it is not easily accessible, then it will not be available in every part of the world. It should be imperishable, it means indestructible. It is not that once I have kept 1 meter or 1 kilogram and it is going to get going with the time, it is not remaining there, means it's not stable. It should be easily reproducible. It means you should be able to make its replicas comfortably. Like 1 meter, we are having 1 meter scales everywhere comfortably present with us. So these were the characteristics of a standard unit. Now, if I talk about the system of units, there are 3 system of units with you. One is CGS, FPS and MKS. Like for CGS, length is measured in centimeter, mass in gram, time in seconds. Similarly, in FPS, your distance or the length I can say in foot, mass in pound and time in second. For MKS, length in meter, mass in kilogram and time in second. So these are the 3 system of units. Next coming lectures, whenever we want to measure any physical quantities, we will be measuring it in MKS or in CGS system. These two systems should be clear to you. Now what is SI system? Because you are most of the time said that you have to write the value in SI system. SI system, which is internationally accepted for the measurement, and the full form is System Internationale de Units, which in brief form, in abbreviation form, we are writing it as SI. SI is nothing but the extended form of MKS system. Because in MKS system we are simply taking length, mass and time. These three quantities we are taking, and along with these three quantities, SI system said there are four more basic quantities are there, like electric current, temperature, intensity and amount of substance. These are the 7 basic quantities with you. And along with the SI system says, later on we come to know that without having the knowledge of angle, plane angle and solid angle, we can't move ahead. So these two are also considered as the basic units, but they are termed as supplementary units. So these are the standard units for these quantities. Like for length, SI unit is meter, for mass it is kilogram, for time it is second, current it is ampere, temperature it is Kelvin, and you should be knowing its denoting sign also. Like for length, when I am denoting the meter, I need not write capital M, I will be using simply small m. If I am writing kilogram, I will be using K capital and G small. For second, I will be simply writing S. For ampere, because it is after the name of the scientist, that is why capital A will be used as a symbol. For temperature, Kelvin is the symbol. For light intensity, candela is the unit, SI unit, and the symbol is simply CD. For amount of substance, it is you have done in chemistry, you are able to measure the amount of the substance, that is mole, simply written as MOL. For plane angle, it is theta or d theta I can write, and it is measured in radians, and units symbol is RAD. For solid angle, it is d tau, which is termed as steradian. It is the symbol for tau. This is again the Greek word, we pronounce it as tau only, and the symbol for the unit is SR. So these are how we can write the symbol. The definition of 1 meter. What is 1 meter? That is the length unit. Unit for the length under SI system of units. It is SI system of unit for the length. It is the length of the path travelled by the light in vacuum during a time interval of 1 upon 3 into 10 to the power 8 of a second. Like you know that velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So from there only we have defined 1 meter. So means 1 meter is not that you are simply pick a scale and measure. There are lot of efforts of the scientists to give you people this distance which is equals to 1 meter. That is the path travelled by light in vacuum during 1 upon nearly 3 into 10 to the power 8 of a second. So this much fraction of second they are able to measure the path, and then only they are giving you the distance which is or length which is equals to 1 meter. Similarly, they are giving you the kilogram. 1 kilogram is the mass of a international prototype of kilogram, that is a platinum iridium alloy. So this way, similarly, if you want to define 1 second, you can see it is 9 to 10, so 9 periods of radiations corresponding to transition between two hyperfine level of cesium-133 atom. This is the latest definition. Earlier we said that it is, if you say in terms of day, we are dividing in terms of minutes, 1 upon 60th, and similarly in terms of hour we were doing. And now this is in the latest technology for cesium clocks is there. So that is giving you, even we are able to measure 1 second equals to 1000 milliseconds. Similarly, this definition of 1 ampere current, which is between two parallel conductors of infinite length, kept in vacuum, which is producing force equals to 2 into 10 to the minus 7 Newton per meter of length. This you will be proving this definition in class 12th also. Kelvin is the thermodynamic temperature of triple point of water. Of course, we will be dealing with the triple point of water in the chapter of thermodynamics, where all the three states, solid, liquid and gases, they coexist. That point. And from there only we are defining 1 Kelvin. Similarly, for 1 mole, maybe you have done the definition in chemistry also. How many amount of substance is there by a substance, as many elementary entities as there in the 12 gram of carbon 12. Similarly, you can define 1 candela also, that is for luminous intensity. Luminous intensity in a given direction, that a source that is emitting monochromatic. Monochromatic means single wavelength radiation of frequency this much, 514 to 10 to the power 12 hertz, and has a radiant intensity in that direction of 1 upon 683 watt per steradian. So that is why I want to study about the steradian, the angle, that is a solid angle of course. So which is giving me all these definitions. This is simply to give you the idea how these definitions have come, how we are able to find the values. Now, when coming to the supplementary units, as I said, for plane angle, if you are having a circle and you cut an arc from that circle, then this angle which is subtended at the center of the circle, that is the plane angle. It means I am having a ring, or I am having a circle, simply a ring, which is a ring, and I am moving from one point to another on the circular path, and I cut an arc, and that arc I am joining it with the center of the circle. Then what is the length of the arc? ds, and this is r, small r is the radius of that circle. Then plane angle d theta, or simply you can write theta, that is equals to length of the arc divided by the radius. So d theta, it is written as length of the arc. You may simply write L. If you don't want to write ds, you can simply write L as the length of the arc. Length of the arc divided by the radius, that is equals to the plane angle. So radian is the unit, SI unit for the plane angle, which is simply written as RAD. Fine. And if you have to define plane angle, this is the length of the arc divided by the radius, and it is defined as the angle subtended by the arc to the center of the circle. The circle is a two-dimensional thing, but when we go in 3 dimensions, like you are having a solid rubber ball. So now if you take you move on that surface of the sphere from one point to another, then you are able to cut an area from that circle. In place of length, now you will be able to cut an area, and that you are joining it again with the center of the sphere. Then here also you are cutting out some area, it means. And if r again is taken as the radius of that sphere, then solid angle is the area divided by r square, where r is of course the radius, and this angle which is subtended at the solid sphere, center of the sphere, that is termed as steradian. Steradian is the solid angle subtended at the center of the sphere when an area is cut out of it. So this is area divided by the radius square, and the unit for solid angle is steradian. And advantages, if somebody is asking from you of the SI system, you should be knowing this thing, that of course it is coherent. Coherent means when I am converting the derived units in terms of the base units, I don't need any numerical factor, simple multiples of 10s are required. If you are converting 1 kilogram into gram, then 10 to the power 3 you have to take. So it is not any numerical value, simply multiples of 10 are required for converting one system to another system. And rational means the same quantity is having the same units. Like for energy, when you speak about the mechanical energy, you speak about the chemical energy, all are measured in joules only in the SI system. So unit is same for the similar type of quantities. Of course, it is metric. As I have already said, it is an extended form of your MKS system. MKS is a metric system. And the next point is, it is an absolute system of units. Absolute means it is not involving the effect of gravity. So these are the advantages of SI system of units. Thank you everyone.